Alright, let's write an equation for a function that has the shape of y equals square root of x and is first reflected across the y-axis, then shifted to the right 8 units. So if you see this, notice this section here where it says reflected across the y-axis. That means that our original f of x, in order to get it to flip, we're going to have f of negative x. So you recall that what this will do is take all the points, or any points, original x values. If I start with a point here, doesn't matter what this x is, then the when I apply this transformation here, I'm going to get that same value but just as opposite, right, over here. And I can go, you can go back and forth. If you start on the negative side, once you apply this transformation, you're going to end up on the positive side. So now we look at the second part, and we're shifting to the right 8 units. So that means we're going to be adding something to the inside of our function. So we have already on the inside, we have this negative x. Now this is applied, like this negative x, this negative is being applied to everything on the inside. So now if we're shifting to the right, we would normally, so I'll do this, excuse me, if we're shifting to the right, normally you would want your, it's going to be, you're going to be subtracting because you're shifting to the right. But in this case, we're going to add, and I'll show you why in a second, because of this negative sign. When I go to solve this for x, I end up with what, -8, and so I end up with +8. So what you're trying to do is make sure that the result that you get when you solve this for x, it matches what they're asking for. And in this case, we want to shift to the right, so as you can see that it's positive, and we have the correct value, 8 units. So our resulting equation would be, what do they want us to put this in? We'll call this, we'll just keep this as y, and square root of -x plus 8. Okay, and graphically, square root of x does something like this. So this is y is equal to square root of x. Then if we flip this across the y-axis and shift it to the right, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here's where our original point is going to be. So flipping it gives us something like similar, like this is just the flip, and then the solid line will indicate this shifting it to the right. Okay? So it's been flipped across the y-axis and then shifted to the right 8 spaces or 8 units. So here's our final equation.